Let's talk again about creating arrays. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and go YouTube, right click, new class, call it my arrays 2, and check this, finish. Okay. As I said earlier, an array can only hold one type of value, so we can't assign an int to a string array. To make that more clear, let me talk about a variable. Let's see, we have a variable myInt equals 0. We can't later go and reassign myInt to have a value of pineapple because it's an int variable, not a string variable. Okay? Same thing with arrays. They have to hold the type of value that you say when you're creating the array. Also, we should note that arrays can't be changed in size after they're created. So we got to make sure we create an array that's big enough to hold all the elements that we want, because we can't change the size of it later. Now, let's go ahead and make an array. We're going to make an array, a string called car_m, and we're going to have this capitalized. And that's going to be our array of car makers. Okay? And then, what did I forget here? Oh, I forgot a open square bracket and close square bracket. Now those can help us remember that this is an array. This is a box that holds more than one variable. Has more than one compartment. And how many compartments does car_m have? Well, car_m equals new. It's a new box of strings that has 4 strings in it. Okay? Now, just like we would with the variable, we have int myInt equals 4. Normally you don't see me initialize variables like this. You have me go right ahead and type out int myInt equals 4. Well, we can do the same thing with arrays. We can go string array car_m equals to new string array of 4 elements. Okay? Put that all in one line. Makes it a little neater. Car makers, 4 elements. Now, let's fill this array up. Let's remember that our indexes start counting at 0, even so we'll have 4 elements, so it's going to be 0, 1, 2, and 3. So 0 is going to be Honda, and this array holds string objects, so each of the elements has to be a string object. Index 1 is going to be Mitsubishi, car_m at index 2 is going to be Toyota, and car_m at index 3 is going to be Ford. There we go. Honda, Mitsubishi, Toyota, and Ford. So we can go about printing them. Regular way we print out variables, system.out.println, and we don't need those quotation marks. We're just going to put car_m at element or at index 0, and save some time. I'm just going to copy that and paste that 4 times and show you 1, 2, 3, and let's hit play. There you go, Honda, Mitsubishi, Toyota, and Ford. Now, one new thing I'm going to introduce to you is each array is an object, and each array object has an attribute called length. And using length, we can do a number of neat things, but here I'm just going to show you how to access it and how to print it out. So we're going to make a new int, and I'm going to call it array length. And inside that, we're going to store car_m.length. This you've seen before. This is just assigning a data type to a variable. And what value are we assigning it to? Well, we're assigning to it whatever length attribute car m has. And that changes depending on what you declare right at the beginning, right here. So, to find the length of an array, how many elements it holds, we just put the name of the array dot length. Let's print that out. System.out.println car m dot, or my bad. Let's put the length of the array is car m is, we're going to put plus car plus array length. How about that? Array length. Proceed. 4. Now, we don't actually need to store it in a variable. If we're just going to print it out, we can actually just go. Instead of array length, we can just go directly to the attribute length, car m.length. That should be fine. Okay, proceed. There we go. Now, notice, while the length attribute is set at 4, the index values only go up to 3. And that's going to be important in our next example. In our next example, I'm going to show you guys how to reiterate through an array using a for loop, something that's done often in programming. So this was just another example of arrays, and stick around for the next example, reiterating through arrays using a for loop.